Number 2 strategy, write this one down, disrupt yourself. Disrupt yourself. So there's a term in the technology world, at least it started there, and that's pretty common in business, which is this: disrupt yourself or be disrupted. Right? That's the world we live in as salespeople. As a species of salespeople, I think this is the mindset we have to have today going forward. And think of industries that are out there that were disrupted. You know, the telegraph industry said this about the telephone. Right? We had the horse and buggy industry say that the automobile is a novelty and a fad. We had the silent movie industry say, who the hell wants to hear actors talk? Then we had the movie industry say, television won't last long, people are going to get tired of looking at a plywood box. And we've all heard the stories about computers, who's going to need them? And then we had the media and newspaper industry say about the internet, oh, the internet's a fad, that's going away. And so we've had this disruption that's happened in industries, and we've actually had it in sales already, and it's coming quickly. The one we've had that I think about all the time is this one, which is account management. Think in account management, it's very specific with cast of characters. So let me rewind like 25 years ago. I'm a salesperson. Part of my value as a salesperson 25 years ago, even 15, was being able to map this out. And I could go to the company and say, you need me to be able to figure out who the people in the company are. And there were things like, at least we had the Illinois Manufacturers Directory, which was like this big, but it was all dated, it wasn't good. So they needed me to go in and figure out who was there. But now, let's say that was 25% of my value. Well, now you can hire an intern to use these 2 tools, and in 20 minutes, they can figure out what they used to need me to go do. That's been completely disrupted. Now, what they still need me for as a salesperson is in Sandler in the decision step. Okay? So if you think in cast of characters, artificial intelligence and machine learning can't figure these things out. Can't figure out who the ultimate is, who the influencers are, the users are, economic, technical buyers. They can't figure out who the friends are in there, who's neutral, who our enemies are. They still need us for that. But the question we have to ask ourselves with all these changes is, how long will it be until the machines can figure out some of this information too? There's already a technology that will read your LinkedIn profile and tell you your disk profile. You don't think there's something someone's working on to better figure out how to give information as to who the real players in an organization are? Now here's another area that we've been disrupted and are getting more disrupted. Giving demos, tours, and presentations. So doing dog and pony shows, and I say that's bad. Presentation skills are really important. And in Sandler, I think sometimes at least I minimize it because we spend so much time on pain budget decision. But it's still important. But think about what's happening in the world with things like VR. So you got VR. If I have a company with 100 salespeople who can all go do presentations differently at differing levels of competency, I might sit back and say, why would I not create something that's really good virtually, that feels real to the prospect, and I know consistently they're going to get the right message. I know consistently that's going to work. That day is coming, and for some organizations that I've read about very recently, that is here. How about giving tours? Who gives tours of your facility? Who's had a tour go sideways, where you're given the tour and they see something they shouldn't see? Like someone doing something really weird or something? Or they talk to someone they shouldn't talk to? Well, that can be controlled now. Toyota has a way, so instead of getting onto, if we could play that video, instead of having to go see the Toyota plant, you could put goggles on and you can go into the Toyota plant, and it's a little, you know, if you had the goggles on, you turn and you can see what's happening. That's the interaction that we can have. So my value 25 years ago used to be, another part of my value is presentation, tours, doing demos. Well, that's going to be taken away. Right. Next slide, if we could do. Meetings. So this is one to disrupt yourself on now. I don't know how many of you are using these technologies, but these technologies are like we're there already, but I find that salespeople typically aren't using them to the level that they could be to their benefit, and they haven't disrupted themselves enough in this space. And we already know the science through neuro-linguistic programming that you learn in Sandler. And this is a U of I study. 10% of students are auditory, yet 80% of college instruction is in auditory mode, lecture. Yet there's salespeople making phone calls all day long with 10% of the people they're calling auditory, completely missing the opportunity to use these tools with the video capabilities. So if you haven't disrupted yourself yet to be able to, right now, call someone with Zoom versus calling them on their cell, I suggest it's wake-up time, because it's getting there quickly. And if your competitor knows how to take advantage of that slight edge of using visual versus just auditory, that could be the difference. Okay, so let's talk about disrupting ourselves here. Keeping with technology, what are your new technology capabilities? I had your threats, but what should you be working on? For example, with Zoom, if you don't know Zoom or go to Meeting or WebEx and you can't use it, if it's like one of those things that kind of freaks you out, that's something to figure out real soon. And next level Sandler skills. This is our saving grace for now. With all these changes coming, here's what the machines can't figure out and artificial intelligence won't get us to yet. Figuring out the nuances of the pain step, the personal, emotional, getting people motivated with pain. In the budget step, being able to help shape the expectations, getting people to create a budget they didn't have yet. In decision, figuring out how to get them to change the criteria, how to change the timeline. The machines haven't figured that out yet. Who knows how long that'll be? But this is where we should be spending our time. If we know the technical stuff is being minimized in value, this is what we need to be working on.